All right, hey guys, happy Friday night. I'm home from work now. I've got my sweats thrown on, and I've had a chance to pull out the HK MR556 A4 and do a little fiddling around here pretty quick, and just wanted to share some findings with you on this journey with this new release from Heckler & Koch in an effort to just provide as much information up front for you guys as you're picking these things up and doing some modifications, so it'll save you some time and aggravation the more you know. So let me get the camera off me and turn it over here, and we'll talk about the gun and what I found. Stand by. Here she is, the old girl. She's a little drier now and drying out nicely. Thank God, sitting out, wiping it down. Gee, it's still oozing. Wettest gun I've ever seen in my entire life. And you know what? If HK's marketing department's watching, one thing I think with as much lube on this thing, it'd be nice if it had like a Germanic smell, like you know how BCM you have that like smell you just know. I think we need some kind of beautiful beer smell or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look. See if you notice anything different. Do a little flyover. Probably notice something a little bit different right there. Probably notice something a little bit different right there. Probably notice a little something different right there. All right, real quick, this isn't going to be a long video. Just want to talk about some things I found. We're also going to talk about this little guy right here. Okay, before we dive into this, a couple questions from the earlier videos that I've addressed with some people. You know, this is a semi-auto only gun. Bolt carrier is semi-auto. The receiver has got the full auto bolt block in there. You'll see a notch in your bolt carrier that gets over that notch, so you can't just drop an HK416 full auto bolt carrier in this thing to use on, you know, say a registered lower. So this is a semi-auto only gun in the configuration you're going to be purchasing it at. The other question, it was really good, and I'm glad somebody brought it up about the buffer tube. This is a mil-spec buffer tube. I put a Magpul mil-spec stock on there to test it. So, you know, whatever your favorite mil-spec stock is, you can slap it on that bad boy and go if you didn't want to use the HK stock. Another thing was, you know, does this interfere with the collapsing? No. I mean, the stock's going to collapse down to where the stock's at the back of the castle nut. So, you know, that's your forward point on the stock, pretty obvious. But mil-spec buffer tube. Okay. Least important, probably least interesting, is I've already changed the muzzle device. To note, again, the gun doesn't come with a crush washer on the birdcage flash hider. I'm surprised, but again, as somebody pointed out, you know, I know there's suppressors that do direct attach to the birdcage, and I'm sure that's why, but be aware. The average guy who's going to change muzzle devices at home, if it had a crush washer on the birdcage, those are typically very easy just to wrench off and put your new muzzle device on. Because it doesn't have a crush washer, when I was taking this off with my armorer tool, it's very, very, you know, it was very tough to get that thing to move. So I had to get the torch out, and I heated it up, and I did see some smoke come out, and once that happened, I knew, you know, that was why it was so hard to get off. I didn't want to overforce it. I was having to use a lot of force. So the heat, I saw some smoke, so they clearly apply, you know, some kind of locking agent on those muzzle threads. And if you're changing muzzle devices at home, you're going to want to know that, because you don't want to just start torquing on this thing and applying excessive torque to try to get it off versus using a little bit of heat, or it'll come right off. So know that going in. I told you that I like having a grip cap. I'm not a big fan of not having a grip cap. I'm not even a big fan of that grip angle for me personally, because I don't use it on other guns. So I went with my tried and true grip. I got my grip cap. I'm happy as can be. That took 2 seconds, no big deal. And it was like I think it was the, let me see, hold on, let me see what this is. Through the power of editing, I'll be right back. Back at you. I believe it was a 5/30 seconds hex wrench thing that I had used for the screw that comes with the new MR556 A4. I pulled the stock off. I had another stock just like it that I'd already installed the HK QD mount. So these are, attachment points that you can put in the sling slit. So you have QD cups on either side of the stock. Again, in matches with what I do, whether it's run and gun stuff, 3-gun, 2-gun, blah, blah, blah. Slings are used quite often. Okay, now, the last talking point, and then it's bedtime. I'm done playing with this thing, and I got to get some rest because I'm going to shoot a pistol match tomorrow. So I tried popping the trigger out and put my trigger in that I use in my other MRs and some other ARs, and guess what I found out? I found out that even in testing a couple of the recommended triggers that you can drop in this gun because of the the full M16 style hammer that's needed for the firing pin safety, they're not going to work because of this damn 45-degree selector lever. The rear tangs of some of the other popular triggers are too wide and aren't going to work with the 45-degree safety. I was never a big 45-degree guy, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was, when everybody started going gaga over these 45-degree. I never had a problem with the 90-degree straight up safety, so I never got into them. But I know back then that there were some issues. I've never had to deal with it with the MR specific. So what I want to tell you is, I think we're going to have to do some data collecting as a group and to come up with some triggers that will work around this safety selector. What I've decided to do, rather than mess around playing with different triggers in the meantime, what I'm going to try to do next week is I'm going to remove the 45-degree throw lever, and I'm going to put a standard AMB MR556 HK416 A5, the one where the fire position will be up here, and then I'm going to drop my trigger in, and we shouldn't have any more issues, and I'll report back. But just know this is going to be a new little hiccup. Back to what I did say though, this trigger is the best one I've ever had in a stock MR from HK. I did find my trigger pull gauge, ran it several times, got an average of 5 pounds. Again, the poundage isn't that different than, say, like a Geisley SSA E, where you pull through both the first and second stages. And what the pull weight's not as important as just no reset. So again, you don't really have to change this trigger. I just want the same trigger I use in other guns, and this damn thing's in the way. So we're going to try to work around that, and I'll report back. Hope this is useful information. You guys have a great weekend. Go kick some ass on the range, and look forward to talking to you more in the days ahead about the brand new HK MR556 A4, which is a beautiful gun. And we're going to have a good time learning about it and going through the process, and look forward to a few years out where we start seeing all kinds of these customized rigs people are using and reporting about how good they're shooting with this barrel's accuracy. Stay tuned. Talk to you soon.